Hello, sleepyheads. It's that time again. A little pat on your back. You've done well. This is Sleep with Will. Thank you for inviting me to usher you into a dreamy slumber. I want to first start off to thank my supporters, my monthly supporters, Joan and also Jared. And thank you so much for all you listeners out there. If you have liked or commented or rated on the podcast, I truly appreciate you. As you know, I am not inserting any ads here as to disrupting your approach to slumber. So I really appreciate everything that you have done, either big or small. And if you want to find more ways to support me, feel free to look up the show notes. I thought this evening I'll bring you a little bit of improv storytelling. In front of me, I have 3 pictures. 3 images that kind of has different things. And I'm just going to make up a little story to help you gently fall asleep. So get comfortable wherever you are, whatever you're leaning on. And here we go. Jack and Joan have been together for a very, very long time. Jack has always been a serious man. He lives a life that is simple, but it's full of joy. He doesn't really need much. He may be old, lost all of his hair just like me, but he can still grow a nice, mean beard. When kids see him, they might feel a little bit intimidated. But little did they know, Jack has a lot more in common with the kids than they thought. Joe, on the other hand, is petite, matching Jack's beard very well with her full head of white hair as well. She also enjoys being in the nature, the simpler life that she and Jack have built together. She's always feeling satisfied with what she has. If she were younger, you might mistake her as Snow White. Animal seems to take very, very much liking of her. They bring so much joy, you can almost tell that Joan and these animals, such as eagles or moose, parrots, can almost communicate with her. What does Jack like to do? Why do you think Jack might have a bit more childlike or similarity with the children? Jack enjoys being on the beach. His seriousness doesn't escape him. He's an architect, a true architect that builds the most elaborate castles, houses, using nothing but his mere hands and the sand. He feels clearly what the vision is. He touches, feels the grain of the sand on the beach. He knows what he needs to do to work the water into the sand to help him build this vision. You can tell by the way that he brings that seriousness into building these architects on the sand. And to bring Joan into the picture, he makes sure that there's nature around these architects, this very, very seemingly sand dune houses, but still filled with lushy greens that Joan brings to him. Jo enjoys wanders in the woods where animals follow her, full of life. She may not know exactly where the journey takes her. She may not even know if she's walking into danger. This day, while she still walks alone on this path, she may not realize that, these woods look a little bit unfamiliar. It is the spring, but these trees don't have the green, luscious greens, leaves on them. It still looks winter. Has she not noticed what's ahead of her? At the far end of the road is this icy castle, surrounded by armies. They are made out of chess pieces and playing cards. They might seem harmless, but are they really when they're holding shields and swords in their hands? This card shows it has a big heart on its face, on its chest, but the relentless wielding of that sword, fighting for the owner of the glass castle. What would they do? Is this the end of the road where Joan is heading, where she's keeping this big smiles on without knowing what's lying ahead of her? As she gently walks down, still, she starts to see the army marching towards her with the intention to disturb the peace that Jack and Joan have been building. Jack quickly grabbed the shovel as he sensed something isn't quite right. After all, he and Joan have been together for many, many decades. It's like there's something that connects them. Jack senses danger and rushes to Joan, stopping in the path where Joan is heading. Joan goes, "What you doing here? This is a regular path I always go on. Why are you stopping me?" Jack goes, "Something just doesn't feel right." And the animals around Joan seem to agree. The birds start to flutter, circling mid-air for no reason where they normally would have stayed on the antler of the moose that Joan walks with. Joan gently calms down the birds and says it's going to be okay, but they seem still very unsettled. The army getting closer, marching, and the ground started to stump, stump, stump. And Joan realized, not right. Jack and Joan start to wonder, what can we do here? What do we need to do? What is really happening here? Why are these people coming? What are they trying to take? And what will they take? Jack started to use his ingenious architecture to build a mirror city that's out in the past, hoping to redirect what the armies are marching towards to. Joan and her animal friends start to build a life around these sand-built architect to make it look like a real city. What does a glass castle do? The glass castles seems like it's there but not really. In the sun, it looks like it can almost melt. Jack puts on his serious face. This mirage is just about down, using the ingenious reflection in the water and the nature. As the army approaches, Jack and Joan hide behind the mirage, just like the glass castle where they came from, seemingly there but not really. The marching army of playing cards and chess pieces realizes they have seemed to come to an end of this destination and decided to turn around because they realize, oh, that's a direction that we're going. And they turned away to a different direction where Jack and Joan are really happily living. Jack and Joan did not let their guards down. They realized maybe this is no longer the peace and quiet they need. Maybe all this army was a mirage too to them. So, they pick up some of the sands to remember where they are. Joan said goodbye to the birds, tug onto the moose and say, go wherever you need to be. The moose gently looked at her, almost as if saying, I don't understand why you're pushing me away, but I'll be here if you ever choose to come back. Jack and Joan always wear red with Joan and yellow with Jack. Together they're like sunshine. They know it doesn't matter where they need to go. Maybe there's this unknown danger lying ahead of them. Wherever they go, they'll be together and building a different future together. I hope you have enjoyed this little improv storytelling. Sleep tight, be well.